Hi everyone, welcome to the FPEB channel. I'm Joel Pettit, and today I want to talk about the DoD's policy of retaining non-deployable service members. Specifically, this can all be found in DoD Instruction 1332.45. And I'll be talking about paragraph 2.4b, 1, 2, and 3. First off, let's start with paragraph B2. I know it's out of order, but it makes more logical sense to go that route. And here's why. Because B2 states that although these decisions can be made by the secretaries of the military departments, they can delegate that power to lower echelon commanders. Now, paragraph B1, it states that the military departments, and I'll just use that term generically, can decide who they want to retain despite being non-deployable for 12 consecutive months or greater, so long as they determine that it's in the best interest of the military department. So pretty straightforward. Bravo 3, that's the paragraph that really stands out to individuals. Why? Because it states that the military departments may initiate separation proceedings, such as referral to the disability evaluation system, prior to service members being non-deployable for up to 12 months, so long as the military department has a reasonable expectation that the reason the service member is not deployable will not be resolved. And this is the paragraph that takes people by surprise, because many active duty folks, but more reservists, I would say, at least in my experience, it's more reservists, will say, hey, I can do my job. In fact, most of the time, these people will say, and they'll prove that they are the top person in their unit performing these duties. And it's always surprising to see why they were referred to, could be the DES, could be the non-duty related process, meaning the MRR for the Navy, or as they say in the Army, literally the non-duty related process for disability evaluation, simply because they can't deploy. And I think what gets lost on a lot of individuals is there's this, what I always say, the big military requirements. So big Navy, big Marine Corps, big Air Force, big Army, big Coast Guard. That's how I put it, because you have your specific rate and MOS requirements that you basically have to live up to every day. So they're, if you will, in your face. They're apparent, they're ubiquitous throughout your daily life. So it's pretty obvious. And that's why people say, hey, I can do all these things and I'm really good at it. What's the freaking problem? Well, the things that kind of slide back in your mind, it's not so much the physical fitness tests or the medical readiness, but what about deployments? This isn't always so apparent to most people, because not everyone is, let's say, in logistics, supply, or infantry. And these usually are the individuals who deploy the most. So other individuals, especially in the admin world, they will say, wait a second, I don't deploy that often, or I just deployed, and the likelihood of me deploying in the next, let's say, 3 to 4 years is very low. That makes logical sense. However, the requirement for the military is that you must be worldwide assignable 24/7, no matter what your MOS or rate. Because imagine if they had these designations where that wasn't the case, meaning these rates or MOSs. You may have a lot of people clamoring to be in these rates or MOSs simply because they don't deploy. And that's not what the military wants. It wants plug and play individuals, people you can redesignate, people you can retrain if need be, based on the needs of the military department. So they don't ever want to have a rate where they say, you know what, you guys aren't going to deploy very often, and we're going to tell people, hey, maybe that's a recruiting boon or windfall for you. Others a lot of people will say, at least all the Marines I know, say, no, I want to deploy, so I don't want to go one of those MOSs. And so it cuts both ways. But the point is, the long and short of it, is that the real world deployability standard is you must be ready to deploy 24/7. And that's exactly what paragraph 2.4 Bravo 3 addresses. Sadly enough, again, in the reserve world, this is what blindsides people. So any kind of comments, any kind of hints that individuals make that they won't be able to deploy, of course, commanding officers, supervisors, if you will, they'll say, whoa, this is a problem. Because what happens when, let's say they don't have a massive unit and they need every single body available to deploy. And they just heard someone saying how they can't deploy because of their back or their shoulder or some other issue. They're going to want to stay on top of that because maybe to you it's just, oh, I got to go to the chiropractor or I got to get some medication or something like that. But to them, they're thinking, okay, if I'm charged with this duty, that duty, this duty, and I can't do it because, I don't know, 5% or 2% or 10% of my staffing is gone, then that's a huge problem. So you have to think of it in that from that standpoint, because that's what this regulation really addresses. So if you're a service member and you're facing maybe the MAR2, the MRR process, or even the disability evaluation system, the IDES, and it's because of a deployability issue, please go to my website, joelpettitlaw.com, shoot me an email, give me a call. I'd love to speak to you about your case. But thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great day.